Yo, what up, fam? I can't keep it together, man. Will I ever get good at intros? Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this week's video, I just wanted to talk about a shoot that we did last fall with my buddy Dylan. I met him while working at Frank and Oak here in Montreal. It's actually kind of a funny story because one of the first things I ever asked him was, hey man, have you ever thought about modeling? Because you have like this interesting look about you. Luckily, he was like, yeah, I actually have. You're not the first person to ask me that, you know? I was a little bit nervous because I thought he was gonna like think I was some sort of creep. It was literally probably the second or third thing I ever asked him or talked to him about. I think we're cool now. So this is portraits of Dylan on medium format. Boom, boom, boom. So after that little awkward conversation that we had, we started bonding about kind of more normal things like music. We were both really into Lil Peep and XXXTentacion at the time. Rest in peace. The first thing that anybody would notice about Dylan is that he always has a skateboard around. During lunch breaks, he would go out while other people are smoking and he would just go skateboard, do some tricks. I would take a rest on the couch and eat lunch, and this guy would go out and skateboard for half an hour. So I really wanted to incorporate that aspect of him into the shoot. He's a very, very young model in his career. He hasn't done many shoots. So that being said, I wanted to make him feel as comfortable as possible. The concept I had for the shoot was to use his love of skateboarding in combination with his aspiration to be a model. So from the waist up, I wanted him to look like this high fashion type of editorial model, and from the waist down just be like a comfortable skateboarder. So I styled the top half along with Maddie's help and guidance. The shirt was an iron though. The white shirt was so wrinkly, and I don't know if that was my mistake or Maddie's, but I'm gonna blame her because this is my video. Sucker. Fast forward to the actual day of the shoot. It was beautiful outside. The leaves were all turning. They're all starting to fall on the ground, but we still had plenty of foliage in the trees themselves. We were aiming for golden hour just to match the whole color palette of the jacket, his skin tones, and the leaves themselves. For this shoot, I brought along my Zenza Bronica ETR and one roll of Porta 160. I'm not at that stage yet where I can carry packs and packs of this 120 film, but I'll get there soon enough. So we wanted to go to this park specifically because of the big skate park that it has. I just thought I would do everything I could to keep Dylan as comfortable as possible and keep him surrounded in his element. When we arrived at the park, there was many scenes that caught my eye. I immediately was drawn to the little path with the trees behind it and all the leaves on the floor, and I thought it would be a good like starting place for the shoot.
The gallows.
It may take a while just to get to know me, but the feelings give me all inside. I don't need a ride, I just need a moment, cause anxiety be running wild. It may take a while just to get to know me, but the feelings give me all inside. I don't need a ride, I just need.
The light was amazing, the colors were great. I love the way that the sun was falling on his face and creating shadows on the other side. After that first location, we moved to the skate park where I originally wanted to shoot. Dylan was just skating around and doing some sketchy ass tricks. I'm just kidding, he's good, he's really good. He was just skating around and doing some tricks while we were setting up. I saw this green fence that I thought would go really well with the color palette and decided to use it as kind of a backdrop for the portraits.
You can smile too if you want. You can crack a smile. That's perfect.
I can use a ride, I need a girl.
I'm gonna do
It take a while just to get to know me, but the feelings give me all inside. I don't need a ride, I just need a moment, cause anxiety be running wild. It may take a while just to get to know me, but the feelings give me all inside.
After taking all these static kinds of portraits of Dylan, I wanted to do something a little bit more dynamic and get him to do some tricks and really just do what he does best. This is hands down my favorite shot of the whole day, and if this is the only thing I got on the roll, I would have been happy, for real.
All night in the summer. No chance, what a bummer. She knows me, I don't know her. Lonely, what a cold world.
After those portraits, we decided to move to my little home studio and take some shots there. While at the studio, Zay was actually being fed dinner, so we were taking shots of Dylan while Zay was eating. But luckily this was not a paid shoot. This was just two homies hanging out and helping each other's craft. At first we took a bunch of shots on the digital camera. I'm not a huge fan of this. I just like, it doesn't have the same feeling to me. It feels kind of like lackluster, and I still haven't figured out a way to get my ideal look off of a digital camera. These are some of the shots that we took. Unfortunately, I only had about 2 or 3 more shots on the roll, so I really had to make them count. I took a medium close-up shot with everything from his waist to his face. And then I took a really close-up with just his face. They're slightly underexposed because I was shooting Portra 160 in a home studio with just one light, and I'm still not the most comfortable with that, but honestly, I love the dark look of them. They had this kind of like mysterious and like sinister lighting to them, and the look that he was giving was very like stoic and a little bit angry. His face was kind of like something like that's why I'm a photographer, not a model. So overall, that was like a really fun day for me, for Maddie, and for Dylan. I think I can only really speak for myself, but I feel like it was fun. Collaborating with my friends and artists that I know is always like my favorite thing to do. I love being able to bounce ideas off of one another and help each other just grow, you know? That's all I'm about. I like to surround myself with people who have goals, who have dreams, and who are supportive and who hold each other up and allow each other to just like have this room and space to grow in their respective careers. And Dylan is a really cool guy. So I hope you guys enjoyed tagging along with us. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, type some comments out, say, yo, that Dylan guy is so cute and Greg is I too. Until next time, peace. You know, I had like a big skateboarding phase when I was younger. I used to ride around and I used to call myself the manual king, but I never learned how to ollie.